Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about the topic what is aggregate production planning. So aggregate planning is basically it's a process which is adopted in the production management or in the factories in the manufacturing concerns regarding developing, analyzing and maintaining a preliminary and proximate schedule for the overall operations which an organization has to perform. So, what is basically an aggregate plan? Means which contains generally, for example, like your what will be your targeted sales forecast for the upcoming months, what kind of production level would be there, what kind of inventory level we should have to procure in the future or in the present scenario, and the customer backlogs if there are or not. So this is basically a process, or it is a schedule which is made by an intention to satisfy the demand forecast but at a minimum cost. So properly we can say that an aggregate planning should be done in the factory, in the manufacturing concern, by keeping in mind about the day-to-day scheduling, in which how much work is to be done, the small amount of material which is required to be in the organization, and we have to keep in mind about what kind of inventory is there, how much workers we have to procure. So this is all about the aggregate production plan. Means not we only have to sales forecast, production level, inventory level, but we have to think of the employees also, machinery also. So we have to think over all the factors which are required to work. We have to plan for every item. So this is the aggregate production plan. So this is basically a long-term perspective, right? Which is basically implied so that at the minimum cost we should do better in the future. So here I have written few features in my own language. So aggregate planning, it's an attempt to balance the capacity and to balance the demand with each other in such a way that cost should be minimized. So this is the main objective or feature also, that overall what we are working it is to minimize the cost. So we have to balance the capacity and demand. For example, if I say the demand is of 25 goods per week, so we have to balance the capacity of the machines accordingly. For example, if the demand increased forever, the word is forever, if the demand becomes forever increased for suppose 50 goods per week, so it's but obvious that we have to hire some another machinery which will be performing the similar kind of items like 25 goods per week. The total would be 50 goods can be arranged. So aggregate is used because the planning is at this level includes all the resources in your aggregation, like product line, all the products in the particular family or the product line. So aggregate resources can be, or I have told you earlier what are aggregate resources, like your number of workers, hours of machine time, your how much tons of material like inventory is there. So this is the aggregate resources, right? So aggregate plan does not distinguish among sizes, color, features, and so forth. For example, like if the manufacturing, automobile manufacturing sector is there, so aggregate plan should consider the total number of cars planned for the individual models. A particular model, we have to plan about the cars, their colors, their options. So when units of aggregation are difficult to determine, so equivalent units are usually determined. So these equivalent units could be based on your value, cost, worker hours, or similar nature, right? So what are the objectives of the aggregate planning? The most important or primary objective is to judge the company policies, right, and manage the inputs which are linked towards to your operations, and you have to manage your distribution and marketing, material, accounting and finance, and all other things which are required in the organization. And ultimately we have to reduce the price and increase our revenue. No doubt we have to increase the customer service and satisfaction, right? We have to go for the boost or proper utilization of plant and equipment. We have to reduce the changes in the workforce level. We have to decrease the changes in the production rates, right? So these are the basic objectives of the APP, aggregate production plan. So aggregate production plan is basically designed also to establish overall production targets, right? So overall production targets are providing as an input for the planning availability for the other inputs, right? So aggregate plans then form the basis for more comprehensive production like daily and weekly production schedules and customer delivery schedules. So aggregate production planning is basically made to help the company to judge their policies and overall reduction of the cost. So here I have also written the cost involved in the APP, aggregate production planning. The cost involved is, number one, we can say that basic production cost, for example, like material cost, direct labor cost, overhead cost, right? Then cost associated with the changes in the production rate, for example, cost involved in hiring, training, supervision, laying of personnel, as well as overtime compensation. This is called as your changes in the production rate cost, which is called as also your variable cost. That inventory related cost, the aggregate production planning models may be supportive as decision support system and to appraise a proposal as union negotiation. So inventory related cost could also be there, we have to bear in the APP. So aggregate planning is also used as an operational tool, right, which helps to achieve the balance between your operational goal, financial goal, and overall strategic objective of the organization. It also serves as a platform to manage capacity and demand planning, right? So next we will discuss about the importance of aggregate plan. The aggregate plan no doubt plays a very important role in achieving the long-term objectives of the organization, right? Like helping in achieving the financial goals, right? Helping in the maximum utilization of available production facility. We have to provide the customer delight by matching the demand and reducing wait time for the customers. Naturally, nowadays this is used as a most important tool, that we have to reduce the wait time for the customers. No doubt we have to reduce investment in the inventory stockpiling. Nowadays it is also used an important tool for or to lead in the market. Then we have to able to meet the scheduling goals, thereby creating a happy and satisfied workforce, which is most important. So there are next is techniques in aggregate planning, or we can say steps to be followed in aggregate plan, or what is the procedure of aggregate plan. The first we can see here, first and foremost is we have to determine the demand for each period. This is the most important. Then we have to determine about the capacities for each period. Means, for example, like regular time work should be there, or overtime work should be there, or part-time work should be there, or we have to get the work done by the subcontracting or contracting also. Then we have to identify or company or departmental policies, like we have to maintain a safety stock of 5% of demand and maintain a reasonable stable workforce, right? Then the fourth one is we have to determine the unit cost for the regular time, overtime, everything that we are hiring, right? Then the fifth one is we have to develop the alternative plans and compute the cost for each alternative plan for each activity. Then last one is if satisfactory plans emerge, then select the best one which is suitable according to your company, that best satisfy the objectives of the company. Then we have to implement it. The last topic comes about the aggregate planning strategies. So the first strategy you can see here, it is the level strategy. So as the name is indicating or suggesting itself, this strategy means looks forward to maintain a steady production rate and workforce level. Means what happens that organization requires particular, we have to forecast about the demand, like if there is an increase in demand or decrease in demand, so that we can cope up with the production. But here in the level strategy means we are producing in a smooth level, like with the steady workforce and with the steady production. We are not going to adjust with itself. Whatever is there, we are producing. We are not going to fluctuate. We are not going to accept that if there is a drastic change in that. So there is a disadvantage also, that high inventory is required, or you can say high inventory cost we have to bear, which would increase in the backlogs maybe. So the advantage could be a steady workforce, means the workforce is stable always whenever there is higher demand, so we can cope up with that. Second one is chase strategy. Chase strategy means we have to look dynamically, and we have to match the demand dynamically with the production. If there is an increase in the demand, we can, or we have to cope up with the demand by increasing the production. So advantage of chase strategy is lower inventory levels, means if there is less demand, there is less production. Higher demand, higher production. But there may be one disadvantage, like lower productivity, quality, and depressed workforce can be there, right? Then hybrid strategy. Hybrid means we have to look, or we have to balance between level and chase strategy. Means we have to go for the cumulative demand. Cumulative demand means if there is a demand, we can first uh, go for or to increase that our production level by increasing the higher labor force temporarily by you can say increasing the working time, by reducing the relaxation time, by overtime we can go for that. But if this is permanent, so we have to accept that challenge, and we have to follow in the company. Then we have to change our some of the policies. So this is the hybrid strategy. So that's all for the today's lecture. Thank you so much.